Welcome to the Money Business Podcast. I'm your host, Neal Regino, here with Sarah Dingle from Equity Services, Inc. Um, we've mentioned a few times in the past that one of our big partnerships is our broker dealer, which is Equity Services. So I guess to start, why don't we just do this? What is a broker dealer?
Yeah, a broker dealer is what I describe as like a hospital. They are in place to help you protect you and your clients from, I'll say, getting bad diseases while you're under the, let's start over.
Okay.
From, diseases in the hospital, right? We are there to protect you and your clients to help you in the best interest make the best informed decisions on their assets and their retirement planning.
Yeah. So I love Equity Services. As people know, I came from a wirehouse side, and the company's made it really easy to do business. Now, I've also mentioned Equity Services in 2024 was the fastest growing broker dealer in the industry. You should, if you don't, take credit for a lot of that. So,
Oh, thank you.
when did you start with Equity Services?
About 3 years ago.
Okay. Um, and I know last year we talked in the beginning of the year, you came and talked about this push for growth. And obviously, you came through on your promise. So, why don't we talk about where your background is before you came to Equity
Sure.
Services, what brought you here,
Yeah.
and what you're doing to differentiate the company?
Yeah, absolutely. So I graduated from the Ohio State University with a degree in financial planning. I went to work for a broker dealer and decided that I was more suited for strategy and B2B play rather than B2C. So if you don't know what that is, business to consumer, right? But I was more of a B2B because I could see things around corners. And I've been named as the secret sauce a lot of times because I'm able to see strategy. So fun fact that my first boss at Nationwide, where I ended up spending 17 years of my career, called me and said, "Hey, I know you're really good at building things. I know you're a life insurance and annuity girl by trade. Why don't you come help us build? We're in growth mode. We are a balance play sheet on National Life Group balance sheet, and we need to turn it positive. So let's think about different ways that we can get more life insurance reps selling variable products, assets under management. And it all starts with education, building out practice management. And we've had a lot of help along the way with including in all my business development partners, just collaborating. We're a newly formed team. Most of us have been there for 3 years or less. And we really took this on to be able to build and scale. What we've created is a process. It starts with when you start recruiting, helping us understand. We have the slogan BIG, BIG, bespoke, independent, and growth. Bespoke because we know every advisor's journey is different than the next advisor. They may like this fund manager, we may like this fund manager. We try to be as accommodating as possible. So we like to get to know each of our prospects or recruits because we want to make sure that we see themes that are coming out of the marketplace, what's happening with consolidation. We want to make sure that we have the right advisors on there. And then once we be able to see those themes, and we're able to scale faster. So in the past year, we've been able to bring in 143 reps, which we are getting noticed at a higher level. Our current president, Ata Azasharhi, goes to conferences and he's like, "What are you guys doing? Like, are you throwing mass transition money?" We have great transition packages. We are not in the market to buying books of business. That's not what we're looking to do. And so we're able to do that by getting to know our advisors. Otta says it best in our value prop. He says, "Your success is our success." And we really invest in our advisors to do that. For the first time in history, Neal, we have more than nine $1 million earners, right? We're up 380% on our people that are making $100,000 or more. We know what we're investing back into our practice management. Recruiting and growth go hand in hand. So my role at the broker dealer is to help recruit, retain, and show results.
That's awesome. So, a couple of things that I noticed even before all of this growth with equity services, number one, you do a really great job of offering the same capabilities that I had for the most part that I did at a wirehouse. There are some more advanced things that I'm not interested in that I could do at the previous place that I can't do here. But the ESA business, the lineup, the ability to talk to people that are upline to be able to make things happen,
Yeah.
that I was able to acquire a very large piece of business that had to create a whole new contract with the company for with equity services, and they were willing to have that conversation. So I'll say those parts I love. But the other part that I tell because I'm a manager as well as a producer, I'm also recruiting. And what I always say is this is a place where compliance and suitability have your back.
Absolutely.
You don't see that anywhere
You
else.
don't.
And we're always the scapegoat. We're the front line. And if anything happens, the advisor's always the scapegoat. Here, it's like, what do we have to do to keep you out of trouble, to make sure you're doing the right thing for your client, to be able to do your job and keep it moving and be very efficient? And I think you've done a really great job of that. So from your standpoint, what do you think differentiates the company?
Well, I think that technology and suitability and product shelf, can look different wherever you are, right? But I think it's like you said, it's the ability to have a conversation. Most people don't join a broker dealer for several reasons. They don't like Big Brother looking over or in their email or in their surveillance, right? And that's what I hear a lot of times when I'm trying to recruit in the insurance world. When you get to a more experienced advisor, let's say 5 years out, what they're looking for is ease of business. They are really looking for the ability to have a conversation. Consolidation has happened in the marketplace. And the ability to pick up the phone and to talk to the chief compliance officer, who I'll give a plug for, Rob Franklin. I call him the coolest chief compliance officer. So he's got an extra C. But just be able to think differently and outside the box, not bending the rules, but just being open to a conversation. When I talk to people, I like to say, we're not the no firm. When we look back 10 years ago, podcasts weren't around, right? And podcasts were now, I'll say, table stakes. People want the ability to have their voice voiced, and we have to adapt our style of business to how we do that. So we think our rules around social media and podcasting and just being able to hold yourself out in an audience are really progressive, and we're always willing to take a look, as well as we're not willing to bend the rules, right? When you think about suitability, right? Suitability is there to make sure that your clients are protected and doing the best thing in the interest of your clients. I find it really cool with ESI that we have the ability to do a pre-screen. And so if you're, trying to build your case on why this person needs to replace this type of an annuity, you have the ability to call our suitability team and have a conversation. Now, while you have to formulate your own opinions, they're going to help you, guide you of like, these are the facts, these are the rules, you might want to expand, double click on this. And that's just really hard to find when you're one of 10,000 reps or 20,000 reps. You lose that personal touch, and you lose the ability to, really, have relationships. We call ourselves the relationship firm. We value relationships. And that's why we've been able to grow, because we know what our reps are doing.
Yeah. So I'll say from a client standpoint that might be watching this, what's nice, I always tell them is when you go through somebody like me that has a broker dealer over them, you know that there's oversight. So it's the difference between, and people ask me all the time, why aren't you an RIA? And I'm like, well, I'd rather make sure that somebody else is watching compliance for me or making sure that I'm doing the right thing. So from that standpoint, there's a little bit more protection, I think, from the client standpoint. The other thing that I'll say is the equity services made it a model where if an advisor wants to manage their own accounts, they can. I don't know why they'd want to. But then you also have the ability from the starter, if you want to do a ETF or mutual fund portfolio, no problem. But if you want to get fully custom, we have the ability to go through places like an Asset Mark, a Savos, a City National Rock, a Maple Capital. And the nice thing is having all of these options and being able to tell a client, hey, who do you want to talk to? Like, you don't have to just do what I say. Like, interview these managers if you want. We can go
Right.
that route. So I think that that's great. Now, from an advisor standpoint, coming over here from what you said, the ability to get things moved through quickly. And I know for me, I barely do. I do my best never to do a paper application,
Yeah.
although once in a while I have to because the client
Yeah.
just has to do it that way. But you've made it so easy to get things done. I also, I probably never have them on the podcast, so I want to just give a plug to a couple of people. Robert Franklin's been amazing since he got here.
Yeah.
I mean, what
Absolutely.
advisor gets to talk to a chief compliance
I
officer
know.
at a broker dealer?
Right.
That never
It's
happens.
amazing.
He and I, up until a week ago, were meeting weekly for a thing we're working on. Dan Randall's been amazing to create relationships with outside organizations, and then my go-to fixer, Abram Nunez. I mean,
Yes.
Abram, you always help me out when I
Let's
need
go,
when I need some
Abram.
help. So
Yeah.
and then everyone, even the people in the call centers, are amazing, and they always do their best to make sure that they accommodate, and they really do help us get things done that we need to, so we can move
Yeah.
on and focus on the things that matter to us. So what's next for the organization? What's this year looking like? What are you guys planning on?
Biggest year ever at ESI as far as sales and recruits. So we're really, really, really pumped about that. With the help of Ata Azasharhi, who has announced his retirement, he's our president. He has given so much to this organization and just has really leaned into the role of a president of a broker dealer and allowed us, well, under his regime, I've worked for him for 3 years, allowed us to grow and expand. But with John Keenan in our business development, always just taking the call and just listening and figuring out how we can get to work together. We have a new head of growth, Brian Nelson, who comes to us from Atria Wealth Solutions. They were, I'll say, an aggregator who took a lot of smaller broker dealers. He has a vision that stretches beyond my imagination of the things that we can do. From marketing, Mallory Minash, Beth, we're looking at targeting reps, doing Salesforce marketing campaigns to be able to recruit, value prop, putting the best content out there, practice management from Matt Lyon, Lauren Finney, really just stretching us. And then we have a new head of advisory, Kyle Merceau, that came from Lincoln Ozake. Great, sharp mind, able to put us out there. And what's super exciting is that we are making the most monumental change that we have. Our platform currently is on Envestnet.
Yeah.
We clear through Fidelity, and we have a strategic partnership now with Fidelity called FMAX. And FMAX is a full-service, holistic platform that allows you to do anything from soup to nuts, to do research manager. You can go as deep and wide as you want to do. It still uses the Envestnet platform. I just call it Envestnet with lipstick.
Yeah.
Probably not compliant approved, but it really is. We still have great relationships with Envestnet, and the capability that is going to be able to take off our advisors' shoulders. So portfolio construction, right? Being able to have a source to lean on, another set of eyes to help you do portfolio construction. We're not charging more. Our affiliation fees are, for our reps are minimal compared to the industry, and we let you build your own technology package. AI is a very important topic. You go to any conference, everything is about AI. We're looking at AI capabilities and being able to put that out there. Our websites that you're able to use, FMG Broadridge. We have a new relationship with Snappy Kraken, which does organic marketing. We've expanded our relationships with Acquire Up, allowing you to do seminar selling if that's something that you are passionate about and being able to acquire. It's all about growth. Ata, as I mentioned, is retiring. We have a new president coming in the middle of December. Yet to be named, but we're really optimistic about our future. Our future, I don't think, has ever looked so bright. We're all aligned. We're all anxiously awaiting our new president to come and set the strategy, but we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Ata.
Yeah. Yeah, he's done a really fantastic job. I don't want to press you as to who that new president is. I bet you know, but it's okay.
I don't know, actually.
Uh-huh.
I really don't.
But yeah, it's exciting. I'm personally, I'm really happy to be here. I know that the other partners at this firm are, there's so many times that we've heard, even just in our organization, our OSJ, or in our agency, that this is the best kept secret.
It really is. The
and
secret's getting out.
yeah, it is getting out there for both on our partnership on the insurance side and on the investment side, and it's been really great. And for those people that do tune in that are business owners, if you're just looking for a place to have a second look at assets, I mean, I think working with an advisor under Equity Services is definitely a good option out there. You know, it's not like there's a whole lot of proprietary things that you're going to get pushed on you. We really do allow you to
It's
have
all
this open
independent.
architecture. Yeah. And it's one of the big reasons that I started coming over here. And then, it'll be 10 years this month that I've been here.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
We'll celebrate.
Yeah.
You're our triple threat. Neal.
Yeah, I've heard that. I didn't know until last week, or earlier this week, but yeah.
For those of you that don't know, Neal was biggest percentage of assets year over year in GDC and advisory, and from his management position, recruiting. So congratulations, Neal.
Thank you very much. Hopefully we'll keep it going into next year as well. I've
Yeah.
got some big vision for 2026 myself. So, well, I really appreciate you stopping in. It was a big surprise. I kept saying I need to get somebody from Equity Services. You happen to be in our office today, and I really
know.
appreciate you making the time.
No problem.
Looking forward to working with you and seeing you in the future. And if there's anything we can do to help, then let us know. Is there anything else you want to say to the audience?
No, I think it's just, when we close our recruiting, it's your business, your vision. So I love that you have your vision set for 2026. If you're still making up your mind about your vision of where you want to be as a financial advisor, give us a call. We can help you grow.
Appreciate it. You know where to find us, evolutionfg.com, and appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.